I don't talk about this one much. Most of what I carry from those years I've learned to carry quietly. You get old enough, you realize some stories aren't meant to be told at dinner tables or on television. Some stories are just yours. But there's one night that comes back to me more than the others, creeps up on me when I least expect it, sometimes in the middle of the afternoon, sometimes at 3 in the morning when the house is quiet and my mind won't leave me alone. Luzon, 1945. February, I think, though the days had a way of bleeding into each other over there. You stopped counting after a while. You just moved, you ate when there was something to eat, and you tried to stay alive until the next morning. We'd been pushing through jungle for 3 days straight. No real sleep worth mentioning. Maybe an hour here, an hour there, never enough to feel human again. My boots had been soaked through so long, I'd genuinely forgotten what dry felt like. The heat was something people back home couldn't have imagined, and the jungle had a sound to it at night. Insects, birds, things moving in the dark that never let you fully relax. Your body learned to stay tense even when your mind wanted to rest. There were 12 of us moving toward a ridge we needed to hold before dawn. It was a simple enough objective, the way they always described it at briefing. Simple, clear, necessary. But nothing out there was ever simple once you were actually in it. Somewhere in the dark, we got turned around. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was terrified. Not the kind of scared you feel watching something frightening on television. The kind that settles into your chest like a stone and won't move. The kind where your hands want to shake and you have to order them not to. And right beside me was a kid named Everett Cross from a small town in Ohio, 19 years old, same age as me, which at the time felt like we had everything in common and also nothing at all. Everett had a photograph of his mother he kept folded up in his front shirt pocket right over his heart. He'd shown it to me a few weeks before during a quiet afternoon, one of those rare moments when the war seemed to step back and let you breathe for a minute. He held it out to me real careful, like it was something fragile, and he said with complete seriousness, "If anything happens to me, make sure somebody gets this back to her. Promise me." I promised him. I didn't think much more about it at the time. We all had things like that, little anchors to the world we'd left behind. But that night, lost somewhere on that ridge with the dark pressed in on all sides, it was just the two of us for a long while. We'd gotten separated from the others in the confusion, and the smart thing was to stay still, stay quiet, and listen. So that's what we did. Sitting in the mud, shoulder to shoulder, not making a sound, just breathing, just waiting. I don't know how long we sat there. Time moves strangely when your life might depend on the next 10 seconds. It could have been 20 minutes. It could have been 2 hours. And then Everett leaned over, slowly, carefully, and whispered something so quiet I could barely hear it. He said, "I'm real glad it's you sitting here with me and not somebody I don't like." That's it. That was the whole thing. No grand speech, no heroics, just that. I almost laughed. I had to put my hand over my mouth, and somehow that ridiculous little sentence made me less afraid. Not unafraid. I don't think anything could have managed that, but less, like a valve had been released somewhere. We found the rest of the unit before sunrise. We held the ridge. We both went home eventually, me to California, Everett back to Ohio. We exchanged a few letters over the years and then, the way it happens, lost touch. I don't know if he's still alive. I hope he is. I hope he's sitting somewhere warm with people who love him. But I've thought about what he said almost every day since. In the worst moment either of us had ever lived, completely lost, completely afraid, in the middle of a war that was bigger than both of us. What mattered to that boy was simply this: I'm glad you're here. I'm glad it's you. Not where you came from, not what you believed, not what you looked like or who you voted for or what church you attended on Sunday mornings. Just you are a human being, and I know your name, and right now that is everything. We used to understand that. Deep in our bones, we used to know it. I'm still waiting for us to remember.